Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is the much requested, much anticipated skincare favorites of 2019. Yes, I just got my hair done today. Y'all know I can never get it to look this good, especially when it's parted down the middle. My hairdresser is a genie and I'm very blessed to have her. Real quick, seeing as this is a skincare video, I wanted to come up here with my no makeup look. So basically what I have on my face right now is the makeup look that I did in my what I wear to the gym, and then I added a little bit of bronzer. But I have no foundation on my face. I wanted you to see my skin as it is. Okay, so you can see some redness. I mean, that's just the way my skin is, but I figured for skincare video, that was pretty appropriate. So I am going to talk about everything I used the most in 2019. This is not necessarily stuff I bought in 2019. Some of this stuff I've used for years. I'm going to go in categories. This is going to be a longer video, I have a feeling, so I will do my best to put the categories in timestamps down in the description box. So if you only care about moisturizers, if you only care about serums, if you only care about face wash, you can kind of figure out where they are within the video. So let's go ahead and get started. My battery charger has really been messing with me lately, so I have a feeling I'm going to be changing batteries out a lot in this video, so sorry if that's distracting. If you don't know, I am 39 years old. I have normal skin. I really concentrate on hydration and anti-aging and preventative measures when it comes to my skincare. So you're going to see a lot of this stuff is for those purposes. I don't have any like rosacea or any other true side effects that I need to look out for. I have really cut down on my exfoliation, and I will talk about that in a little bit. But just as an overview of my skin and my needs, that's pretty much it. Let's go ahead and start in the order that I would do my face. Now, I don't remove makeup in the morning, obviously, but I do at night as a first step in cleanser. I have favorite cleansers, I have favorite balms. I do feel like my skin works better with oils than it does balms. There are very few cleansing balms. I think the Beauty Counter and the Pharmacy are really the only cleansing balms that don't break me out. Most of the other ones I've tried have. My all-time favorite makeup remover is the MAC Cleanse Off Oil. I have gone through so many of these, I cannot even tell you. I always have a backup. I pretty much always have a backup of a lot of things in here. This is definitely one that I always have a backup of. I use probably 2 pumps, and it on a dry face, it gets all my makeup off. It really loosens my mascara so that I get a better result from my actual cleanser than I go to after this. So most definitely my favorite makeup remover of all time. Now for cleansers, I have 2 favorites. I've always loved the Sanita's Milk and Honey Cleanser. That will forever be a favorite of mine, but I do find myself reaching for these the most lately. This is my morning cleanse. This is the Beauty Counter Nourishing Cream Cleanser. I've probably gone through 4 of these. This is probably got 2 more days in it. I also have a backup of this. This is a basic cleanser. Like, you pretty much don't get more basic than this. That's what I like in the morning. I don't want anything added to my cleanser. I don't want any enzymes. I don't want any acids. I don't want any actives whatsoever in the morning. I just want to rinse my face and cleanse it from any dirt and oil overnight. And this is my go-to. Now at night, I have really been loving the Is Clinical Cleansing Complex. I talked about this in maybe my last favorites. I've been using this one for about 6 weeks now, and I've only used that much. This is a gel cleanser. Typically, I don't like gel cleansers, but this one I absolutely love. So those are my 2 favorite cleansers by far this year. Now, I am not someone who does the exact same routine every single day. I listen to what my skin needs. Some nights I'll use this serum, some nights I'll use that serum, some nights I won't use any serum, and I'll really just concentrate on dousing myself with hyaluronic acid and moisturizer. It just depends on what I feel like my skin needs. And that is something that I have learned over the years. If you're somebody who doesn't know what your skin needs, I highly recommend getting a consultation, with a recommended, reputable esthetician in your area. I have one that I've been using for the last 15 years. She's a college friend of mine. She's the only one I like to touch my skin. And so with her help and my practice with products, I've figured out how to read my skin. So let's go ahead and talk about serums. Again, I don't use these every day. Typically in the morning, I will use these 3 serums. I will use a vitamin C serum of some kind. I have always loved, since it came out, the Truth Treatment System's Transdermal C Serum. This is a tetrahexadecyl exorbate serum, which is not the purest form of vitamin C, but it is more stable and it's less irritating. This is actually an 80% form of the THD form of vitamin C. I use, I may only have a couple days left of this bottle. I use maybe 2 drops and mix it in with a mist and then spread it over my face. I've been using this for 2 years and I absolutely love it. I also have started using the Revision Skincare C Plus Correcting Complex. This is the 30% also tetrahexadecyl exorbate, but it also has other antioxidants in it as well, whereas this is basically like vitamin C. This has some other good anti-aging ingredients as well. So I kind of go, sometimes I go every other day, sometimes I go a week with this, a week with this, 2 weeks with this, 1 week with this. There is no rhyme or reason. But these are the vitamin C's that I used all year long. I didn't introduce any other vitamin C's in my morning routine other than these. I do always use hyaluronic acid. I have tried many hyaluronic acids. I think I've even talked about some other ones in my favorites videos. I like the May Love one. I like the Jordan Samuel Hydrate Serum. The Josh Rosebrook hyaluronic is really good too. But this one, I would have to say, is one that I go back to time and time again. And it's the Skin Medica HA5. This is the Rejuvenating Hydrator. It basically has 5 different forms of hyaluronic acid in it. It's phenomenal. It is more of a silicone base. I don't know if you'll be able to see that. So it is a little bit thicker. I find that it still sinks in really easily into my skin, but if you don't like that feel of silicone, you're not gonna like this at all. I feel like it helps to smooth out my skin, especially in the morning before makeup, which is never a bad thing. I've gone through many of these. I've gone through the bigger bottles. I've gone through the smaller bottles. It's one that I always go back to. So I would have to say that out of all the ones that I've tried, this is still my favorite. And then this next one is one that I use in the morning. I'm on my 2nd bottle. I've been using it for about 3 months now, and I really love it. It's from Definage Skincare, and it's the 8-in-1 Bio Serum. Now, I'm going to try my best to remember to put a card up here from Smith Skincare. Penny did a whole video on Definage. She is a master esthetician. She can explain it way better than I ever could. So I want you, if you're interested in this line or this serum, to go watch that for sure, because she is going to explain it way better. This is a serum with deficins in it, and it is supposed to minimize look of lines and wrinkles, rejuvenate smoothness, clarity, radiance, and visible hydration. The amount of clinical studies and the length that they went into these clinical studies is pretty amazing. This has to be done over your moisturizer. Nothing else can penetrate through this. So what I do is I'll do all my serums, I will put on my moisturizer, my eye cream, and then I will put this on before my SPF. So I have, again, been using this for about 3 months. I really, really enjoy it. I actually have a backup of it. I actually have 2 backups of it. That's another story. I like this a lot. Now at night, lately, I have really been paring down the serums that I use. I am going to talk about my favorite acid serums. I will say that for about the last 2 months, I have not been using acid serums because I'm giving my skin a break. I will still get chemical peels maybe once every 6 weeks. I'll get 1 chemical peel, and then I just kind of let my skin breathe a little bit. I was over exfoliating it. I was stripping the barrier, and it needed a break. So I haven't been using these for the past couple of months, but they are my favorites overall. The first is the Overnight Resurfacing Peel from Beautycounter. This is the old packaging. This will forever be a favorite of mine. It is truly game-changing. If you have not used an acid before, I highly recommend this. It's so good. I know I've talked about it ad nauseum. Whenever I do start bringing an acid back in, because I will eventually, this is definitely going to be the one. Another one that I used for a little while after purchasing it that I liked was the Ordinary Lactic Acid 10% plus HA. So lactic acid is going to be the most gentle acid of all of them. So if you have more sensitive skin, I would look at that. This has lactic acid in it, but it also has other acids as well. So if you're wanting just lactic, I would look at something like this, especially because it's so affordable. I really did enjoy this. And again, while I was using lactic acids, glycolic, mandelic, azelaic, all the acids, these were the two that I used by far the most this year. So let's talk about serums that I use at night. One that has been a standout since it launched in, I believe, July is the Beauty Counter Countertime Tripeptide Radiance Serum. I only have about that much left. I do have a backup of this. I really enjoy this as a peptide serum. It's very moisturizing. It also has bakuchiol in it, which I know is like the it product right now, or the it ingredient, which it's kind of like a safer, cleaner version of a retinol. It has that in it as well as the peptides. It's just a really good overall serum. There's no fragrance. There's no like oils or anything like that. It's really a good serum. I highly have been enjoying that. I'm talking too much and I'm talking too fast. These next two serums are newer to me as in the last quarter of 2019, but my skin has really been liking them. The first is the Is Clinical Pro Heal Serum Advanced. This is also a vitamin C serum. I decided a few months ago, that I wanted to start introducing an L-ascorbic acid, which is the purest form of vitamin C, back into my routine. I didn't want to stop using my THD that I use in the morning, so I thought that I would go ahead and add this in at night. This is a vitamin C serum. It does have a stitch of retinol added into it as well, at least the Advanced Plus version. I think they have just the Pro Heal serum, which is just vitamin C, but this is the L-ascorbic acid form. I do keep this in my refrigerator. I know there's a lot of, I don't want to say controversy, but there's a lot of debate as to whether you ever really truly need to refrigerate a product or not. When it's something that is not as stable as all the rest of my products, as in an L-ascorbic acid, I'm not refrigerating it because I think it's going to go bad soon. I'm refrigerating it to make sure it lasts as long as possible. So I do keep it in the refrigerator. The directions say 3 to 4 drops. I use about 6 to 7 of both this and the next one I'm going to talk about. So I will use this serum, and then I will follow up. I have been following up with the Is Clinical Active Serum. So I believe this one has more of like plant-derived enzymes, if I'm speaking correctly. Maybe it's fruit enzymes. I don't know. And I had gotten a couple of samples of this in my Harbin House orders, and I really liked it, and I really like these two together. Now you're going to decide whether or not you want to put them together or not. They work really well for my skin together. I'll apply this and then I'll put this on top of it. This is the like little baby version. You can buy the half ounce, I believe. Yeah, the half ounce or the full ounce. And I don't know, I've been using it for about a little over 2 months and I'm down to there. Again, I use about 6 or 7 drops in each. But these are by far my most used nighttime serums. Let's talk about oils. If you've watched any of my favorites videos where I talk about skincare, I would have to say that oils, facial oils, are probably one of my very favorite skincare products. I love them so, so much. Not everybody thinks they're beneficial. Not everybody benefits from them. I do. My skin loves oils. It always has. I hope to goodness it always does. I have a lot of oils in my collection. I have reached for these next 4 the most. In fact, 2 of them I have repurchased. And those are the Beauty Counter oils in balancing and brightening. So I will use the brightening in the morning. It is a vitamin C oil. It does have the tetrahexyl ascorbate form of vitamin C in it. And then I'll use the balancing facial oil at night. I have ran out of both of these this year, and these are the repurchased oils. And I'm already halfway done with the balancing oil. Have a little bit more in the brightening. Balancing is my favorite, probably my favorite facial oil of all time. It's a Lang Lang type of, it's got Lang Lang in it. It smells good, at least to me. Not everybody's gonna love it, but you know, we're all different. This just really truly does what it says it's going to do. It balances my skin. If I feel like I'm looking dull, if I have some breakouts that I want to kind of tone down a little bit, this will do it overnight almost. I absolutely love this so much. I just remembered 2 things that I did not talk about. One of them I'll talk about. Another one is a cleanser if I'm having acne, and I will link that down below. It's the Beauty Counter cleanser I've talked about forever, the Counter Control. I will link it down below. It made me think about it because if I'm breaking out, I use this and that, and it's like a godsend for breakouts. But those two are the most used because I have repurchased them. These next two are also very well loved by me, and they are from the brand Leilani. Love Leilani so much. You can get Leilani Detox Market. You can get them at Harbin House, which I recommend because I love Courtney. But this is the champagne. Now, I think they've redone their packaging, and these might be called something different, but I will link to what they are. This is the champagne balancing serum, so it kind of goes along with the balancing oil. They call these serums, but they are very oil-based. And then this is the evening replenishing elixir. So I will use this one in the morning. It sinks in a little bit quicker. And then this one at night. They both smell phenomenal. They both work well. My skin just loves them. They leave a really pretty glow on the face. They keep your skin hydrated throughout the day. I really, really enjoy these oils. Let's talk about eye care real quick. I only have two things that I'm going to talk about. I tried a lot of eye creams this past year. Some of them worked out. Some of them did not. I find that I am more sensitive to eye creams lately than I have been to anything else for some reason. If I'm going to have a reaction from something, most likely it's going to be an eye cream. So my tried and true, has been for years, talked about it forever, favorite eye cream of all time is the Ebates Renewal Eye Cream. This works so well. It is not overly hydrating. So lately, even though I don't feel like I necessarily need to do it, I have been using this at night as well as in the morning. And then I usually like take a shower and do my skincare like earlier on in the night, and then a few hours later I'll actually go to bed. And before I go to bed, I've been taking some of the Kiehl's Avocado Eye Cream, which is extremely moisturizing, and kind of dotting it on top of this. Again, not necessary, but my under eyes have been loving it. This is my favorite one for under concealer. It's just so good. So that is the one eye cream that I'm going to talk about because I honestly have not found one that I like better than this. And then another eye product that technically is in my makeup routine, but it is skincare based, is the Color Science Total Eye 3-in-1 Renewal Therapy. I still love this so much. I probably went through 2 of these this year alone. I started loving it last year. I think last year, maybe the year before. This is a color corrector / eye cream. So it looks like this. It does have that peachy undertone. It's very moisturizing. It has an SPF 35 in it, physical sunscreen, which is so important to put that under your eyes as well as on the rest of your face. And I love that this has that peachy undertone because it really helps tone down my darkness. So I will use this as a color corrector step. I know I've been using the Jane Iredale a lot this year, and I love it so much, but I still reach for this, especially on my no makeup days. I've been reaching for it a lot more lately. It's just super, super hydrating, and I really enjoy it. So those are the 2 eye care products I wanted to talk about. Oh, what are we going to get into next? I forgot to talk about my toner earlier. This has definitely been a favorite of mine this year, and it's the Revision Soothing Facial Rinse. It's probably the 3rd bottle that I have used. I will continue to purchase it. It is a thicker, almost like a liquid gel combination of a toner per se, and I love it. It's very hydrating. It has great reviews for a reason, and I don't envision myself stopping using this for a very long time. The other toner that I forgot to bring up is the Beautycounter Counter Control Toner. It is a matte salicylic acid based toner, so I will only use that on the days where I have some breakouts that I really want to nip. That and that cleanser together, your breakouts will be gone. So I will link both of these, but this one overall for an everyday basis has definitely been my favorite. All right, let's talk about moisturizers, and then we'll get into some kind of randoms. I have 2 moisturizers that I use the most in the morning for under makeup. So I want my moisturizers to be a little bit thinner, not as heavy, but still moisturizing. And even if it leaves like a little bit of a glow, that's great too. The first one that I probably have used the most over the past, goodness, 2.5 years is the Beautycounter Countermatch Adaptive Moisture Lotion. So this is the new packaging. It used to be in like a teal and white pump tube type of thing. I know y'all have seen it before in my empties. I've probably gone through 3 of those, and I have just started using this new packaging. This is a very nice, basic, normal to dry skin moisturizer. It works really well under makeup. It almost has priming abilities to it. It's just no frills, works well. My skin likes it. I will always have this. And then when this launched this summer, the Countertime Antioxidant Soft Cream, I fell head over heels in love with this. This gives a little bit more of a glow to the skin. It's still a lightweight moisturizer. It's not heavy at all. This is my second bottle that I've started using since July. That tells you how much I use it. And I don't envision myself not using this either. This one does have antioxidants in it, which is great anytime, but I especially like to really dose up on those in the morning before I go out for the day. And I just love both of these. So these, I don't think I've used another moisturizer for the daytime other than these two this year. Now for nighttime, I have three that I have used the most. And I believe I've talked about all these in my PM skincare. I've talked about most of this in my skincare routines, but the first one is the May Lindstrom Skin Blue Cocoon. This is an extremely expensive product. It will last you forever. It is a balm to oil. As you can see right here, you need the smallest amount. I'm talking like less than a pea size to cover your entire face and neck. It has a very distinctive fragrance. It does have blue tansy, I believe, in it, which I believe is the fragrance. This, I've said before, when I use it, I feel like a sleep sounder. There's just something about it, but it is so, it's almost healing. It's so nice. So if I feel extra red, if I feel like my skin is, more inflamed throughout the day and I just need a lot of healing overnight, I will use this. Hands down, it's amazing. The next one is the Oxygenetics Oxygenating Hydro Matrix Moisturizer. It says it attracts oxygen while delivering PCA, HLA, and multi-tocopherols. It has aloe gel as the very first ingredient, which also the foundation does from Oxygenetics line, and I just flung it over there. This is, again, it's just a nice basic moisturizer. I like to use this on nights when I don't need as much moisturization. I do really like to mix this with oils. I find that it mixes the best out of the three I'm going to talk about. And it's just good. I really like Oxygenetics. I'm almost out of this. I need to get through a lot of my moisturizers before I repurchase anything, but I believe that will always be on my radar. And then finally, the Beauty Counter Countertime Tetrapeptide Supreme Cream. So Countertime launched 7, I believe, products. This and the other 2 products I've talked about are the heroes from the line for me. And this is like probably the most moisturizing out of all that I've talked about. It leaves your skin so glowy and plump, and I love this. It has a really nice slip to it. It would be hard for me to choose between this and the Antioxidant Soft Cream, but I am halfway through this. Doesn't have any scent whatsoever, which I love and appreciate. I really can't speak highly enough about that. These are my top used, most definitely no questions asked moisturizers for nighttime. Oh my goodness, we're coming to the home stretch. We are going to talk about a couple of random things and some SPFs. This is probably my most used mist. I love a mist. I go through mists all the time. I will mist my face in between serum steps. I will mist my face before moisturizer. I will mist my face throughout the day. I will mix it with my vitamin C serum. I mean, I use it a lot. This is a small bottle, but I feel like I went through 2 of the big bottles as well. And this is the Josh Rosebrook Hydrating Accelerator. I don't think this is the cheapest out of all the mists that you could get by any means, but I love the ingredients. I love the way it smells. I love the way it works on my skin. So I would say this is my most used. Right now I'm using the, what is it, DO2 or D2 spray by Jane Iredale, because y'all probably know I love the Pumice so much for my makeup spray, and so I wanted to try one of her hydration sprays. I do like it. I love the Jordan Samuel mist. I've talked about that before. My favorite Beauty Counter mist got discontinued, which is sad. So I have a lot of favorites, but I would probably say this is the one, this and the Charcoal Beauty Counter mist that is discontinued are the ones that I use the most this year. Now, let's talk about masks, and then I have one exfoliator that I want to talk about. Since I mentioned I am not exfoliating chemically that much, Amber and I, my esthetician, decided that it would be good for me to start to physically exfoliate my skin about once a week with a powder. She does not recommend any of the beaded harsh scrubs. She likes the exfoliating powders, and she recommended this one to me, and this is the one I've been using for, goodness, probably the last 6 months, and I've really liked it. It's the Ebates Organic Skincare Strawberry Rhubarb Dermafoliant with lactic acid. So this does have lactic acid in it, but it's not something I keep on my skin. I mean, it's just, I use it as a physical exfoliator. So it is basically a powder. It's somewhat similar to the Tatcha rice enzyme powder. I feel like this one does a little bit more exfoliation than the Tatcha one, but it's definitely not harsh. It doesn't leave my skin red. It's just a really nice weekly exfoliant that I have been loving. This is a small one that came in like an Ebates starter kit type thing. But it's lasted me forever. You don't need that much, and I have really been enjoying it. So if you feel like you can't use chemical exfoliants, or if your esthetician recommends physical ones for, you know, a little while, I would highly recommend this. And again, this was a recommendation from Amber. My top 2 used masks this year. I do love a good mask. I love a good mask. I probably mask 4 times a week. This one is almost gone, and okay, so these 2 are my favorites. This is probably my favorite for like glowing, smooth skin, and it's the Leilani Mermaid Mask. Superfood for your skin. So this is like a spirulina based. Oh, it smells so good. As you can see, I'm like hitting the bottom. If you want glowing skin, if you want smooth skin, if you just want like you just left a facial type of skin, I would highly recommend this. It does have a little bit of physical exfoliation in it, so what I will do is I will mist my face before I put it on, because it is a little bit of a thicker consistency, and then I will maybe I'll put some on my fingers, and I might put like 3 drops of water in it to help, you know, make it easier to spread around. And then I will exfoliate my skin with a mask for about a minute, and then I will let it sit for like 10 to 15 minutes. Love this so much. Will definitely repurchase this from Harbin House because they carry Leilani. And then my second favorite has to be the May Lindstrom Skin Problem Solver Mask. Now, I loved her Honey Mud Mask. She had to pull that from the shelf because of some discrepancies in the ingredients, and I don't know when she's going to bring that back out. So I started using this when I couldn't use the Honey Mud anymore. This is a warming corrective mask, and warming it is. So if you can see, it is a powder, and I will take a teaspoon and I'll put it in a little bowl. I mean, she sells a bowl to do that, but come on, like, just use a bowl that you already have. I'll put it in a little bowl, and then I'll use same equal parts of water, maybe a little bit shy of a teaspoon. I'll mix it up, and at first when you mix it up, you don't feel like anything's happening. You're like, these aren't even mixing well. And then all of a sudden, something clicks, and it turns into this like moussey texture. It almost looks like hair mousse, but green, like dark green. And then I will just apply it all over my skin, and I will let it sit for like sometimes 45 minutes to an hour. Like, I will let this sit. Now, the first 5 minutes, it is a warming mask. It has some spices in it that are very warm on the skin. That's normal. That goes away after about 5 minutes. I feel like if I am having skin that is problematic, hence the name Problem Solver, this is the mask that I will use. I do use this once a week, pretty much on Sunday nights. That's like my Problem Solver night. I don't know how that happened. It just did. But I know that if it's Sunday night and I have the time, which I technically usually always make the time for my skincare, I will have the Problem Solver mask on. Really good. Yes, it's expensive. I think this is about $100, but this is going to last me well over a year. Well over a year. I mean, I've been using this for, goodness, 4 months, and I've only used that much. So, worth it to me. Okay, let's talk about my 2 favorite SPFs. This is going to be no surprise to you. The Elta MD UV Elements Broad Spectrum SPF 44, hands down, best sunscreen I have ever used. No one can convince me otherwise. I try sunscreens a lot. I am a little bit more picky in the fact that I want it to be a higher percentage, and I want it to be physical sunscreens. Please pay attention to the percentages of your sunscreens. There are a lot, especially sold over the counter, like at Sephora and Ulta, that are physical only mineral sunscreens, but the percentages are so low that they're really not going to give you the protection you need. I'm talking like 3% of zinc oxide, 2.5% titanium dioxide. It's just not enough. So I highly urge you to research those ingredients. find out what percentages are best, and look for that. This is a tinted sunscreen. I'm almost out of this one. I have 2 backups of this. Chad uses it. He's in Canada right now, and he has a tube with him. It's our favorite. But it does have a little bit of a tint, but if you see when I rub it in, like, it's so sheer. I can still see my redness through it. This is not a tinted moisturizer by any means, but oh my goodness, it works so well under makeup. It works so well by itself. It's not too shiny. It's not too matte. I could talk all day about this. My favorite. Now during the summer, when I just want to wear sunscreen and I don't really want to worry about putting makeup over it, I want a little bit more coverage, I will go for the Revision Skincare IntelliShade True Physical Anti-Aging Tinted Moisturizer with Sunscreen. This is a broad spectrum SPF 45. It has 14.4% zinc oxide and 4.4% titanium dioxide. I want my zinc to be the highest. This has 10% zinc and 5.5% titanium dioxide. This is a thicker formula. This is a thicker product. You are going to have to work it in a little bit more, but it has a little bit more of a tint and a little bit more coverage than the Elta MD. So because it is labeled a tinted moisturizer, I will use it as such on the days that I don't want to wear makeup. This is not one that I will choose to wear under foundation. I think it's just a little too thick for that. But when I want a no makeup look and a little bit more of a tint, I definitely reach for that. 2 favorite sunscreens by far. This is probably the 20th tube that I've gone through of this. It's the 2nd tube I've gone through of this. Okay, the only other 2 things I'm going to talk about are random things. I have to mention the Flawless thing. I don't know what this is called. Hair remover. They've got a lot of different type of hair removers now. This is the one that has like a little, I want to say epilate, but that's not it. Is it like a epilator? It's not that. I don't know what I'm trying to say. You turn it on. Has a little light right there. You go in circular motions. I don't have makeup on, so I can do this. In circular motions, and it will get all that pesky hair, peach fuzz, that I have so much of. It will take that off. I take this with me everywhere I go. If I travel, this goes with me. If I'm going to be gone for somewhere like a long time during the day, it'll go in my purse because you never know when a chin hair is going to pop up. Let's be real. And I love it. I do find this works better over a slightly damp face. So again, it's another place I use the mist. I will mist all over my face and then use it. Love that so much. Another thing I want to talk about, I have no idea. Let's see if this has the brand on it. Fresh Face Makeup Remover Towel by Campanelli. I got this in a set of like 6 on QVC. They have so many. They have like the face halo, the makeup eraser. There's so many different brands of this. And I'm not saying this brand is the best because honestly, I haven't tried any of the other brands. But I'm going to tell you how I like to use this. Now, there are days where I will just wear my brows to go boxing or something. And I want to come home and I want to remove my brows and then wash my face, kind of remove any of the dirt. I will use it on my face for that. On most days, I will have one hanging on my shower and I will use it for my neck makeup. I've talked before about how I don't like washing my neck over the sink because then water gets all down my shirt and it gets on my arms and it's just gross and annoying. It's like kind of nails on a chalkboard to me. So I will keep this in the shower, and regardless of whether I'm washing my hair, I will get it wet and I will just go in circular motions all over my neck because I do bring my foundation and my bronzer down to match everything. And this will take all of it off with only water. I had to talk about this because I think a lot of y'all will enjoy it to actually remove your makeup. I don't like it as much on my face as I do on my neck, but I love it. And I use it every single day that I wear makeup. So I had to talk about that as kind of my randoms. Last random is the Revitalash. I consider this skincare. I use this about 3 to 4 times a week now. When I first started using it years ago, I used it every day for about the first 4 months. My lashes got to where I wanted them to be, and now I just use it for maintenance. I always have this. I have tried other ones. This is my favorite. So this does stay down with my skincare because I use it at night. I'll just paint a little strip. I have not seen any negative side effects from it. It's the one I recommend to everyone. I am sure that I'm going to go downstairs and I'm going to find something that I forgot, but I believe that that covers the majority of my skincare favorites from 2019. Right now, I'm not changing anything up. I really like how my skin looks. I really like how it's responding to the products that I'm using. But that doesn't mean in a couple months I'm not going to start getting new stuff, because I love skincare as much as I love makeup. And I said it before and I'll say it till the day I die. Makeup only looks as good as the skin you're putting it on. So if I had a budget, or if I could recommend a budget to y'all, 75% of it I would recommend going to skincare, while 25% I would recommend going to makeup. It's that important. So I will link everything as long as YouTube will let me. You know, they have like a character limit and sometimes I get cut off, but I will try my best to link everything I've talked about down in the description box below. And I would love to know your favorite skincare product of all for the year of 2019 down in the comment section below. Thank y'all so much for watching. As always, be sure and like and subscribe before you leave so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I hope y'all all go out and have a very blessed day.